Hey everybody, Jacob Scott, Lowrance product expert. So our webinar is with Edwin tonight, but we recorded our portions with Edwin because he's a little bit busy right now. He's been in Louisiana fishing the Bass Pro Tour MLF tournament, so he couldn't actually be here right now because he's still down there. But anyway, we're here to talk about the latest and greatest, our new Ghost 360. This is an awesome feature that gives you the ability to have a scanning 360 sonar on your Ghost trolling motor. And in all honesty, if you've got a compatible unit, a Ghost trolling motor and a 3-in-1 nose cone, there is no charge to you to get this upgrade and have this feature. If you have a Ghost trolling motor and you only have the HDI nose cone on there, all you have to do is purchase a 3-in-1 nose cone and do a couple of software updates and you're ready to go with this feature. So this feature is really fun to use when we get out there on the water. We have 3 speeds. You know, we've got a slow scan, a fast scan, and a medium scan. Gives you the ability to see a lot of amazing structure in 360 degrees around the boat. So again, we talked about it's just a couple of simple software updates, and we're going to walk through those in just a minute and show you how to update both your trolling motor and your Lowrance unit. So one of the questions that we've got is, what unit does this work with? It works with any Lowrance HDS Live, HDS Carbon, and Elite FS unit. All it takes is the 22.1 software upgrade, and that portion is ready to go. So like I said, just a quick software upgrade. You can download it from our website, quick install, and it's ready to go. Trolling motor update is our 1.2 software update for the trolling motor. It takes a little bit longer. It's about a 5 to 10 minute software update once it gets going, and then you're ready to get on the water and play with it. So a couple weeks ago, Edwin and I, we got out on the water, his very first time using this. We had a lot of fun doing it. It was really great. It's a little cold that day, but you know, that's Oklahoma for you this time of the year. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the upgrade and how you update your trolling motor. So the easiest thing to do, I like to have the software update on a card. I'm going to take my micro SD out of here. We're going to open this unit and we're going to put the card in here. So with my card in, I hit my Pages key. Right down here, I select Storage. Select the SD card that I'm using, which is on the bottom. And right here you can see the Ghost Full Updater 1.2 SWAP file. So if I touch that, it asks me if I want to update the unit. I say yes. See right here, I've got a checkbox showing my Ghost. I'm going to say Start the upgrade. So now you see it's going to go through the process. It's looking at the information on the card. It's transferring it from the card to the trolling motor. And then while it's doing this, if you look at the foot pedal of the trolling motor, you'll see the lights are flashing. That shows us that the upgrade is taking place on our trolling motor, as well as we can see it on the screen. So it's going to take it just a little bit to do this. Like I said, it's fairly quick. We transfer the update to the foot pedal, and then the foot pedal pushes it to the trolling motor. Don't want to get too technical, but it's kind of a 2-step process for the trolling motor to do the update. So once the foot pedal stops flashing, the lights on the foot pedal, then you'll see the voltage, the 36 and the 24 volt lights, they're going to start flashing back and forth rapidly, and the light on the top of the trolling motor is going to start flashing, and that means your foot pedal's communicating with the trolling motor, sending that information to it. So as you can see, this update's about 90% complete, so it's almost done here. 97. So now it tells us that the upgrade is complete. I say OK on the screen, but now if you look at the foot pedal on the trolling motor, you can see the 36 and the 24 volt, they're flashing really quickly back and forth. And if you see the head of the trolling motor, you should see the blue light up there flashing. So it's a process that takes maybe about 5, sometimes 10 minutes for all that information to be processed from the foot pedal to the trolling motor. So while it's doing that update, let's go ahead and jump in and look at the video that we shot on the water with Edwin and see how the Ghost 360 works. All right, so we've got it installed on the boat. We've been doing some updates. Now we're on the water. Some of you guys may have seen this guy before. E-Square, Mr. Edwin Evers, getting his first look.
Man, I'm just gonna take it. I cannot tell you how excited. I'm like a kid in a candy store. Like, wow, I'm blown away by it. Like, I can see this lay down over here right now to the side of my boat. It's like 10 feet away. I can see the branches on it. We literally just put this in the water. All I got to say is thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Finally. That is so cool. It's amazing, the detail. So I've got a little bit of interference back here. You can see these vertical lines. That's my structure scan from my transom transducer. Now, if I was to put that in stop mode or stop sonar, you'll see this next time when it comes around. I think Jacob's just got it shut off. This is all going to be taken away, that interference in the back. It just picks up that pinging also, is just how accurate that is. But you can see, like right now, we don't have any of that happening. That is so cool, guys. Look at that, it's all gone away. You can see this lay down right here. That looks like a big old fish swimming out there, because that hadn't been there before. That's brand new. Let's see if we pick that up again on this next sweep. Now the trolling motor's just going back around. You can see my boat's kind of moving back and forth, and I'm in really shallow water right here. So, you know, it's, I don't know, I'm 4 or 5 feet. This is a 60-foot ring, 45-foot ring, 30-foot ring, a 15-foot ring. And yeah, that was a fish. You can see that fish is gone now. It's not there anymore. Oh, he's moved over to my right a little bit.
You know, this becomes a really amazing tool for you because you can look around your boat. Yeah. You don't have to drive over it. You know, with structure scan, it's a great tool too because you can drive and you can see. But this gives you the ability, if you pull up like towards a point or something, you can just let it scan real quick, say, all right, are there fish sitting in here? Do we have some structure? Do we have some brush piles? What do we want to look at? And so it gives you the ability to pull up, and then you can get in there and you can start fishing. You can use your ActiveTarget. And you can just like really get dialed in.
It's so simple. Like this morning, obviously, this is the very first time I've had anything to do with it. You just put a card in there, updated it. I didn't have to run any wires. I didn't have to put another box. I didn't have to put another transducer on my trolling motor. I had the 3-in-1 on there already, and it's working. I mean, it's like that quick, and I've got 360 on my boat.
2 simple updates. Update the unit, update the trolling motor so that they know how to talk to one another. So we've been sitting here, we kind of played with it a little bit. You've got your first look at it, but I think really what we need to do now is let's run over here and go look at some really cool structure that we know that's in this lake, because we know we've got some flooded foundations.
Yes.
So let's go look at some foundations real quick, and then I think after that we should probably go try to find some fish.
All right, I'm all about it. Thank you, thank you.
Ah, no problem.
Pretty cool. So just pick it up with it in 360 mode. I guess when I touch trolling motor and it stops.
Right, if you touch any pedal on the trolling motor, it stops your scan because it says, oh, you're taking control of me now. So it's not like you have to reach down to stop something. And then the fact that you can program a button on your foot pedal to start and stop the scan, so you don't have to reach down and do it. So you can do it all with your foot standing up.
Super cool, super cool.
So I say we would get it pulled up and let's
do it. Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Hey, those are some cool foundations. What do you say we hop up there and look at them on 360?
So while I was over there, I set I programmed my number 2 key to be my scan, so I don't have to bend down to start it. But now I had my trolling motors going, so get it to scanning again.
So you'll notice whenever you hit it, your trolling motor lines up on 12 o'clock when it starts its scan. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That is so cool. So I can just see it, you know, the corner of that house is right there.
Right, it starts off and spits.
Corner of another one right over here. Just orientates me with everything. Like, I mean, I know I'm in 60-foot range, 30 feet out there. I can make that cast right there. That is so cool.
And you know, the clarity is really good. So when we looked at this and we set it up, we have a low speed, a medium speed, and a high speed. So we did that so that you've got the options there. So obviously low is going to give you your best clarity. Medium's going to give you really good clarity with a pretty good, oh look at that, with pretty good spin speed. Now we're going to go ahead and change it to high because we want you to see the clarity is good there. Look at the detail on that one right
Yeah.
there. You can see how it just stands up right
I
there.
guess these are all like where the post of the house was in the middle of the house. That's got to be what those are. Like,
That'd be my guess that those are the flooring posts.
yeah, they're just all perfect
Just the way
for
they're
the interior,
spaced out,
for the
yeah.
interior walls. Huh? Look at that. See the sidewalk coming off of it right there?
Yep. It's just
And that's in
crazy.
fast. I've
Yeah,
got
that's
it
in fast mode. That's.
Yeah.
I tell you what.
Now look at this. How the steps come down off of that, or maybe it's an outhouse, or.
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the difference. Stop your scan real quick and let's put it in slow mode.
Okay.
Let's go to.
Oh, you said
Slow,
slow.
yeah.
Slow. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm not much of a slow guy.
You've never done anything slow in your life. So while it's not super slow, it's not what the fast mode is, but look how much that pops even more
Yeah.
on the screen. Look how those posts really show
That's
up.
incredible. You can count each one of them. Man, the amount of detail right there. That is too cool.
So while it's probably about, I'm just guessing maybe about a 40-second spin or something like that. But so that's what it looks like in slow, and the clarity is just redunculous there.
Redunculous. I like that word.
Redunculous.
I like that word, Jacob.
So, but and then let's go straight from here. Let's go back to fast mode.
Okay, so I'm starting to get off of it a little bit. I'm going to turn back, so when I get in fast mode, we'll be back on it.
So now the scan is fast. You can see it's whipping around there really quick, but again, the clarity is still really there.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we're sacrificing a little bit of clarity for that speed, but I mean, you can look in that bottom box, you can still see all of those posts.
You know, we got quite a bit of waves out here today.
I was going to say
pretty windy day.
I was
so
going
the
to say
boat's going up and down quite a bit, which is, you know, making that wave in that right there.
and it's pushing us. That's another
Right.
reason why you see the difference in where they are in the sweeps,
Right.
because
You know, we're going across here a pretty good clip.
But let's face it, tomorrow it's supposed to be colder and breezy. But there's so many foundations in here. I mean, it gives you the ability to look at the different foundations and maybe see if there's some fish hanging out on one of the foundations where they're not hanging out on the other one.
What I love is just being able to orientate yourself, you know, and make a cast down the side of it or down this corner of it. You know, make those casts within the cast to know exactly how something lays out.
And again, it just becomes another tool in your toolbox for the ultimate fishing system here. Even with the high speed, you've got really good resolution on this. And you can also change the color palettes on here so that whatever color works best for you, you have all the same color palettes you do for the side scan. So one thing to point out on the screen too, because you asked this a minute ago, we were talking about what range you were in. So in your bottom right-hand corner, you can see it says it's in 80-foot range.
Right,
So if you don't
right here.
remember what range you set it in, it does show up on the screen right there.
Right. Look at that log right there. A couple other logs over here. There's not any foundations right here, but
Now go ahead and hit the menu button if you would, Edwin,
okay.
and go to your color palettes.
Okay.
So look there, you've got all the color palettes. So like whichever one
nice.
you normally use on your side scan that you're used to looking at,
Right.
you can use that up here on your 360 also.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
So yeah, until it does its complete scan, when you change the scan, it doesn't change everything. It's got to wait until it makes that first scan for everything to kind of change out in color.
You know, I just really see this as a tool when I pull up to something, you know, just to orientate myself to how far away is that stump, how far away is that brush pile, You know, maybe you catch a fish and then you try to get back up there, reorientate yourself with it. It's just one more tool to make that precise cast. And then like this, drifting across a flat, it's gonna be huge. And I'm just blown away that it's so simple. Like we did this in 5 minutes this morning, and you know, it's not gonna cost the consumer anything extra. You know, if they've got a Ghost trolling motor, they can just go get that update online, which is so cool.
Exactly. And the most expensive thing they might have to do is if they've got the HDI nose cone,
Just put
they'll have to buy a 3-in-1 nose cone, and I think those retail like right around $350 or something like that. So, you know,
It's about one of the cheapest, newest upgrades that somebody
exactly.
could ever have.
If you're not already set up with the 3-in-1,
Yep.
it's not a super expensive upgrade. You don't have to spend $1,500 to $3,000 to get all the equipment you need to do it. All right, so one of the questions you had for me earlier was, can this thing just automatically go back to the screen I use when I'm fishing when I get here? So while it can't do that, the awesome thing about these quick access keys is that you can actually program one of your quick access
One of
keys.
these over here?
Yep, you can program one of those to go to the screen you use when you fish. So, and you can either do it with a quick press or a long press.
So if I was to go to my settings, go to
quick access keys right there on the right. Boom.
oops, hit the wrong one, fat fingers.
We'll blame that on the waves.
So I've got mine now as different waypoints as far as the quick ones. So maybe this one's open right here, and we'll go and we'll put that. So which one here do I? Oh, I'm at the bottom.
So hit favorite. And then, do you know which screen it is on? Exit out of this real quick. Hit your pages button real quick. So which one of those screens do you use the most on the side there?
Probably this one right here.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5 down.
Okay. So now go back to
pages.
Pages, settings, quick access keys. I'm gonna hit this one. Go to favorite. Right there.
And then number 5.
Number 5.
And then hit save.
Hit save.
So now from there, if you just press and hold your number 1 button.
All right, I was just looking to see if I had anything around here real quick. Just
Yep.
doing a quick assessment of my area. So then I want to go back. Oh, I got a long hold. Hold on a second.
Right, press and hold. There you go.
Cool.
So now you're instantly right at your screen that you're going to use.
I would just hit more options. I'd get that sonar to start going, and I'd be looking out in front of me. Sweet. Sweet. So I've got my contrast kind of turned up. Turn that down a little bit. There we go. Cool.
So let's talk about something really cool the way your boat's set up right now.
Okay.
You can do one thing with the way your boat's set up that not everybody can do, because you have your ActiveTarget on the right height transducer pole. So you could actually have your 360 screen up while we're just sitting here kind of drifting. You could look at that 360 screen, and then you can look around with your ActiveTarget since it's on that right height pole. Now you will get a little bit of interference on your screens because of the transducer.
So you're saying
frequencies.
I can run both?
Yes.
I could have it up here, so then if I go back and I put it...
You'd want your 360 on this one.
So here comes my 360 right here.
So it's going to continue to scan.
So now I'm scanning.
So the little dashes that we see, that's the interference that you're going to get a little bit of that, but you know, it's not going to mess everything up for you.
That's pretty cool.
So, but you could still...
See, like right there, I've got something coming up right out in front of us at 80 feet, so it should pop up here in the next sweep. See, I had something right over here.
Yep.
Now it's at 70 feet. You can see it right there.
Yep, you can see it start to pop up there. Yep. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's really cool.
You know, and again, when we talk about the ultimate fishing system, it's the ability to use all of this stuff together.
So now I've got this one actually in 100 feet. I wouldn't be running this in 100 feet at this depth because I'm really only 10 feet. I need to adjust that just a little bit. I'd probably have it more like 80 or 60. Let's see if I go, that's probably really how I'd have this set in this depth.
And another reason we talk about depths like that being at 60 feet and things like that, so a lot of times you try to keep your sonar basically in your casting range or just a little bit beyond it.
Look at that wall. Oh no, that's part of a foundation right there.
Yeah, there's some foundation right there.
So that's going to be, if I scan right over there, oh yeah, you can see it. It's right there. Just right out that direction. That's cool. That is so cool. Oh, there's another one over here.
Almost 90 degrees to your...
Can't quite get my ride height doesn't turn that direction. But there's one right there. Oh yeah, you can see it right there. Look at it. Right there. You see both walls of it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
That wall and that wall. That's pretty cool. That is so cool. So I could have made a cast, knowing where I was at, I could have made a cast right down that wall, scoot over a little bit, make a cast down that wall, that wall, that wall. That's just going to be a really cool aspect of having this on my boat just as another tool. And,
Exactly.
You talked about interference, but there's really not much interference at all.
Really, the only time you started seeing that interference mostly is when you got out there in those further ranges where you weren't picking up as much information from the transducer. So that's kind of where it, wow, look at that foundation right there.
Dead center in the middle of it. That's so cool.
All right, so one of the things we get asked about is what adjustments need to be made on these units. Now there's three major adjustments for most people. For you, there's only two, because I'm pretty sure you're...
But when you say major adjustments, it's not like you came in here and programmed this thing to make this. I mean, this is in auto mode. There's no having to adjust sensitivity. You know, I think a lot of people worry that, man, you come and set my units up different than theirs. That's how it comes.
I was going to say,
there.
everybody always asks me, what do you do on these guys' boats when you set them up? I'm like, I put it in auto.
Turn it on.
Turn it on.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the funny thing is when you get on social media, everybody's like, I got this. What settings do I need to use? And everybody has their own opinion on what works best. And that's typically what works best for them and the fishing conditions you're in. Now, you guys, you're in so many different fishing conditions. Auto is what I tell everybody. We set you guys up with auto. You get out there, and then if you're on the water and you have to make adjustments, then you might make a bump up or down one or two things, but you don't make any major adjustments.
But to get to your question, like for me, yes, I've got it in fast mode right now.
You're not going to take it out of fast. I know how you fish.
You know, and I like this color palette, but you know, somebody may, you know, want to adjust the color palettes. You know, there's another setting here, you know, to adjust the compass. If your compass is off just a little bit, that's the position adjustment. You know, if you feel like it's off, you got a standing tree out there and it's a little off, you can adjust it right there. You know, other than that, I saw one other one in here that I may use some, and that's that look ahead feature right there, which is kind of cool. But really, I think I'm going to put mine in fast, and I'm good to go.
Exactly. And the major changes, if you change anything, are going to be your speed, your color palette.
You're always going to adjust your range.
And your range.
You know, to whatever depth you're in, you're going to adjust your range, and I do that manually. So
right, and
yeah,
like I said, those are the three main or major, however you want to call them. Those are pretty much the three adjustments you might make when you're out on the water during the day with this. So again, we like to make it simple.
Yeah. It's pretty cool right here. You can see there is absolutely nothing that I'd want to throw at right here. We'd have to turn around, go back, get on that foundation.
Exactly. You know, there's a ton of foundations that we're drifting through out here.
Right.
And you know, that's the awesome thing with this is, you know, when you're looking at this, one of the questions that we have had is, you know, how do I know if I see a fish on it? And I'm like, well, if you're used to seeing fish on your side scan,
it's the same thing.
It's going to be the same thing here.
Yeah.
So, you
Great
know,
point.
if you look at a fish and you know when you see a spot on the screen that's about this size, and all right, that one's probably about a 3 or 4 pounder, it's going to be the exact same on your 360.
Super cool, man. Thank you so much for coming out and putting this on my boat today.
No
I am
problem.
like beyond excited. Can't wait to use this application. Just another tool, you know, in the whole system you guys have built for us, from the trolling motor to the ActiveTarget to side imaging 2D. Now we've got 360. I just can't thank you enough. It's really, really phenomenal.
We do it for you guys. We do it for everybody. We do it for ourselves because we love to get out and fish.
I love how simple it is. I mean, it was installed instantly. It's simple to use. You know, I just got a quick access key right there. You know, as soon as I hit my trolling motor, it stops it. You know, I've got now my quick access key here to go back to my other page that I use all the time. I just turned my ActiveTarget on right there. Now I'm going. Super cool, super simple, super easy. So Man, I appreciate it.
So, you know, we've looked at a lot of really cool structure around here. These foundations are awesome, but I really think we should maybe get out there and do a little fishing.
I got some rods right there. Let's do
Excellent,
it.
let's go.
All right. I better get trolling motor up though.
All right, so as you can see, that is Edwin and I on the water. That's his first look at it. This is the very first time, like, we got there that morning. I installed the updates on his unit on his boat, and then we went and played with it. So as you can see, a really favorable reaction to this new technology that we've come up with. So, you know, some of the questions that we have seen is the ActiveTarget the same as this, or are they different? So yes, ActiveTarget is different. There are two types of different technology, but they're both items that you can use in the ultimate fishing system. We give you the greatest package available to try and find and catch those fish. So again, obviously ActiveTarget is your directional steering sonar, and then the Ghost 360 gives you the ability to use the nose cone of a Ghost 360, or the nose cone on your Ghost trolling motor, to give you the ability to do that 360 image. So one of the things that was asked is, you know, where are things in relation? So when you're looking at the screen, straight in front of you on the screen, that's the 12 o'clock position. That's right out in front of your boat. So everything kind of rotates within that. So if you're looking at something in front of you, it's in front of your boat. If you're looking at something on the back side of those range rings, that's to the back of the boat. If it's to the left, it's the left, and the right. So, you know, so that's just kind of a lot of information on that. We talk about the ability to use the 3-in-1 nose cone. So we kind of made a joke about it, that it basically turns it into a 4-in-1, because you have side scan, you have down scan, you have 2D sonar, and then now you have 3D, the 360-degree sonar with this also. Again, just another tool to put in that toolbox while you're on the water. What units does it take? We've talked about that. HDS Live, HDS Carbon, and the Elite FS units. It doesn't matter what size the unit is, it will work on all of those units, and all you have to do is update the software. So real quickly, we showed you how to update the software of the Ghost trolling motor. So as it was going through, the pedals, you know, on the pedal, the lights were flashing blue back and forth while it was sending that information. Then when it got to the end of updating the trolling motor, it gave us like 3 or 4 beeps. So we knew the software update was complete from the foot pedal to the head of the trolling motor. Now we're going to talk about updating our Lowrance unit. Again, we still have the card in here. We didn't take it out. So if you have the software update on the card, you can either have the unit turned off and turn it on, or if your unit's turned on, all you have to do is press your pages key, come down to storage, and again, we're going to look at that bottom card. Now, I usually have several updates on one card. That way I don't have to have a card for each unit that I might experience in the field to update. So this one, we're going to scroll down until we see the HDS Live right here, 22.1 software update. I'm going to touch that. It's going to ask me to update. I say yes. We're going to update this display, and I say okay. So now this unit's going to restart, and it's going to start installing that update on this unit. So while it's doing that, we're going to go ahead and answer a couple questions we got. One of the things that was asked is, what's our speed rate for the 360 when it's making those spins? So if you're in low, it takes approximately 40 seconds to do the side to side to give you your 360 image. In medium, it takes about 30 seconds, and on high, it takes about 20 seconds. So as you were looking at that first part when we were on the water with Edwin, excuse me, as we were on the water, you know, we went to all 3 of those. Default is going to be medium. Then when we went to high, you know, again, it's a quicker speed, and we really didn't lose any detail. Now when we slowed down to that low, that 40-second scan, we got amazing detail. But what I really like is the fact that it doesn't matter if I'm scanning in low or if I'm scanning in high. I'm still getting really good resolution no matter what I'm using. So that's one of the things we really liked about it. So another question that was asked is, when you're using the 360, can you control your trolling motor? So Can you have forward or sideways propulsion with it? Can you use it to move about while you're doing the 360 scan? The answer to that is no. While it's doing a 360 scan, if you touch the foot pedal at all, it will take you out of scan mode so that you have instant control of your trolling motor. We did that as a safety feature so that if you were getting pushed into bank, rock, other boats or something like that, you have the ability to instantly take control back over your trolling motor. What type of scenarios would I use that in? So basically, if I was like slow drifting down a bank or something like that, I would kick on my 360 as long as the wind's pushing me exactly how I want. Or if the current's at a really nice speed, that's how I would use it. I would just slowly drift and use it. So if I'm offshore on a big windy day, obviously the wind's going to be pushing me too quickly to effectively use it for the spot that I want. So, but again, it's a really great tool in the ultimate fishing system that we have. So this unit's still updating. So Jeremiah, do we have any questions out there?
Not one from this session, but people have asked in other sessions about the max range. So at 800, it's 150, and at 455, it's 300.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great question. The what? Excuse me. What is the max range on this? So again, just like using your active imaging transducer, the ranges are the same. If you're using it at 800 kilohertz, then your max range is 150 feet to each side. So that means in that circle, if you had it maxed out at 150 feet, you're going to look at a total circumference of 300 feet. If you're running it at 455, then your max range, just like with active imaging, is going to be 300 feet to each side. So again, that's going to give you a 600-foot wide swath to look at. So,
Jerry asked, can you stick a waypoint on the 360 screen to mark structure?
Yes, you can. Yeah, Jerry, that's a great question. Jerry's question was, can we mark a waypoint on the screen on 360? So, yes, if you find a piece of structure out there that's on the screen, you can reach over there, you can put a waypoint on it. So you have complete ability to do that. And we will show you that in just a minute. So excellent question on that, Jerry. Any other questions that we have there?
We had a question earlier that maybe you can explain is when you start a scan, how the motor starts at 0 and makes 180 scan and goes back and forth. Can you kind of visualize that?
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great question also. So the question is, when you start a scan, what does the trolling motor do? So when you hit the scan button, the trolling motor is going to center itself up on 12 o'clock. So if you're right up here, and we'll try to show you this in a minute with the head, when your trolling motor's down, even if you're pointed like this, once you hit scan, it's going to bring the nose cone straight to the 12 o'clock position, and then it's going to start its scan so that it always knows where it's positioned and that it's positioned properly to start the scan so everything looks right on your screen. So, looking at some questions here. Lance just asked, is the rotation of the Ghost head a big draw on your batteries? No, it's not. Again, you know, with the brushless motors that we have in this, we have really great efficiency on it. So you don't really have a whole lot of draw on your batteries when it's doing the scan. You're not going to have any more draw on the batteries than if you were using the foot pedal to turn the motor itself. So, Jeremiah, any more questions?
Not one from this group, but one you talked about the scan rates and the scan speeds, but also maybe talk about how you can't change the speed when the scan's engaged. So you actually need to stop the scan, change the speed, and restart.
Excellent. Yeah, that's another one that we got earlier. Changing your scan speeds from slow to medium to fast. To do that, when you go into the menu feature to do that, you have to stop the current scan you're on. So if you're currently scanning and you decide I want it to scan faster, you cannot just go in and change it to high. You have to stop the scan real quick, change it to high, and then hit scan again and start it at that speed. So again, really quick to get in there and do that. You know, it's not very complicated. A little bit of time on the water with this and you'll master all of the features. So in that first section, Edwin and I were out there and, you know, you saw his first look and his excitement on it. So the next thing you're going to see is he and I jumped off. We did a little dock fishing. We went to find some docks, kind of see how things look under the docks and stuff like that, and talk a little bit how he sees himself using this on the water when he's out there fishing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this portion of this webinar with Edwin. All right, so Edwin, we've changed parts of the lake because we're doing what we really want to do now. So we've had this, you've played with this for about an hour now.
Right.
So as we get out here on the water, what's your mindset? What are you thinking? How would you use this in your toolbox of fishing tools?
I think, you know, for me, you know, when I pull up to a spot and I want to orientate myself with, say, that stump's right over here at 10 o'clock, and then maybe I have a brush pile over here at 7 o'clock, you know, or 2 o'clock. I can just use that to orientate myself, then make that cast, you know, maybe switch back over to ActiveTarget, something like that. I'll let you throw first. All right.
So if we were going for the longest cast, we know who won that one.
Oh, I got to get it out there so I can get the bait down. You've got a pretty heavy swim bait on there.
Exactly.
It'll get down there pretty good.
So basically orientating to the structure and the rock piles and stuff like that.
That's what I'm thinking. You know, and it's brand new to me. I'm sure we'll all discover different ways to use it. But, you know, just right now, my first impression is, you know, I'm just going to use it to orientate myself to know exactly where everything sits, you know, when I pull up to a spot, or maybe I catch a fish, get it weighed on Score Tracker, drift off, get back up there to be able to make that same exact cast, you know, or even to learn the angles of like of a log. You know, I see that as being a really key component of this, you know, because, you know, on ActiveTarget, you're not always going to be able to tell how that log sits or how the branches come off of it. Now, with that right there, with the 360, I'll know exactly, you know, I can orientate myself, come right down a log or something out there offshore.
And I was going to say, because a lot of times those fish, they like to get up in against that structure, those logs, and lay along the side of those logs for anything that's going to kind of bump by them.
But casting angle is key.
Exactly.
That's
lets you
the
line
key
up
on
and get
that
that
stuff.
angle.
Right.
Right. So. All right, Edwin, so let's talk a little bit how this fits into the system. What a typical day of fishing, getting out on the water, what are you using and how do you think you'll put this into the rotation?
I see what you're saying. You know, like when you're out on any body of water, you know, it starts like, you know, using your C-map and, you know, idling across here, you know, figuring out that this point lays, you know, maybe to the northwest, and, you know, then using this side scan to say, oh, I got a brush pile over here on the left corner, the back side of that. You know, and then you drop the trolling motor down and you orient myself now with the new 360, and then you take it one step further and use that ActiveTarget maybe to very, very much pinpoint it, or to pinpoint maybe where the fish are relating to that brush pile. But, you know, now we've got it all right there at my fingertips through the system that you guys have built.
You know, and what's really great about it, we've touched on it a little bit, but with the new Ghost 360 system, if you've got a Ghost, a 3-in-1 nose cone, an HDS Live, Carbon, Elite FS, any one of those units, all you have to do is add the software, update the software on your unit, update the software on the trolling motor, and you're ready to take this technology out on the water and use it immediately.
Just one more tool that's very, very easy to do, very, very easy to upgrade your units, you know, like you said, when you have those, and it's just a, you know, one more tool in my belt that I can use to go compete every day.
I mean, what did we spend, maybe 5 or 10 minutes this morning at the dock, getting you updated and ready to go out here?
It was simple.
So,
if I can do it, anybody can do it.
So, what do you say we go find some docks to play around, see how we might use it around the docks?
That'd be cool. See what it does on the dock. Absolutely.
All right, Edwin, as we look at this, does that line across the top there, does that look more like a tree that's in here, or does that look like it might be some of these rails from these?
Looks to me like a rock wall of some sort, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering. It looked a little odd.
Yeah.
So, and I know back in here on some of these boat ramps, or not ramps, but docks in here, some of these houses have the rail systems where they can run their boats up and down from the water line, so.
Oh, that's the rail. That's what that is the rail. This is the rail underneath this dock.
Okay.
See a lot of fish sitting out there.
You know, Edwin, we've been out here. We've looked at some structures and foundations. We've looked at some docks and just some other good fishing areas. And you know, you kind of get a good idea of, I can see the wheels turning of what you're going to do with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Like pulling up on this dock, it's just cool to see the different way the cables come off. You know, like a lot of times I might want to make a cast, but now I can see exactly, you know, about midway down that dock, there's a cable coming out, you know, to where maybe I'll, like if they get suspended on the cables, I can get out here off that cable. It just really orientates me really well to where everything lays out. It just...
Well, and speaking of those dock cables, you know, that's something kind of important to know, because if you were trying to, say, pitch to these corners and drag it along these docks, but you've got a cable that comes out this way, and you get hung up on that cable, and then you have to go in there and get it unhung, you're going to blow that out a little bit.
Yep.
So, you know, just being able to use it for things like that, it's kind of...
And it's super cool. It's a free update. Just go to the website, you know, update it, you know, get a card, update it. You know, you can do it over Wi-Fi. It's just a really neat aspect for all the Ghost owners out there. The Ghost 360, be able to update your unit. You can put this on your boat instantly, just like I did this morning, which is really, really neat.
Exactly. So, no cost. If you got a Ghost and a 3-in-1 nose cone,
You're good
and
to
a Live,
go.
a Carbon, and a Lead FS, all you do is update that software, update the software on the trolling motor, and you're on the water and ready to fish.
Papa's got a new toy.
All right, so there you saw Edwin and I out on the water playing with it for the first time. As you can see, he's got some really great ideas on how he's going to use it when he's out there fishing and when he's looking for the fish on these tournaments, which kind of brings us to one question that did come up. People have asked, can you see fish with this? And the simple answer with that is, yes, you can. This is still our same active imaging transducer. So if you're used to reading that active imaging transducer and being able to pick up structure and pick up fish on your active imaging transducer, it's going to be exactly the same using this Ghost 360 feature. Another question that came up was, how about the install? Is this something I can do at home, or do I need to take it to a shop? The flat out answer on that is yes, you can do this at home. All it requires is an 8mm Allen wrench to take the cap of the nose cone off. Inside the cap of the nose cone, there's a bolt in there that 8mm Allen wrench fits in. You unscrew that bolt. There's a quick disconnect. You unconnect the transducer cable, plug your new transducer cable back in, and then just put it back together. So again, real quick, real easy to do the install. Charles just asked, can the 360 and the ActiveTarget be used at the same time if connected to separate units? The answer to that is yes, it can. Doesn't even necessarily have to be connected to the same units. I run a single 12 on the front of my boat and my ActiveTarget and my Ghost 360. I do a split screen with those, and I can run those at the same time. Now, by doing that, you may experience some interference, which usually shows up as little dots and stuff on the screen because of the transducers that cross ping on the same frequencies. So in a nutshell, yes, you can use them together, but you may wind up with a little interference, and the interference isn't so bad that it makes it unreadable or unusable. So this unit has updated. Now I'm going to show you how to get to the 360 option. If I hit my Pages key, normally you would expect to see things pop up here immediately, and it does not. We've left it so that you can turn it on and off as you want. So after you hit your Pages key, hit your Settings cogwheel, come down here to Advanced Features, and then we go to Features. And as you can see here, Ghost 360 is turned off. So if I turn it on, I exit out of here, it tells me the feature's been enabled. And as you can see, it shows up on my screen right here. So once I turn it on, this is basically what the interface looks like. I'm really not going to pick anything up because I'm inside the shop here, but if you hit the scan button, you can see the trolling motor starts to spin. It went to 0, it went to that 12 o'clock position, and now you can see the sweep being made on the screen. Now again, like I said, we're in my shop, we're out of water, so it's not going to actually pick anything up, but that's how quick and easy it is to use. If I just touch this foot pedal, it immediately stops the scan. So again, that safety feature is there for you. So that's the quick and dirty, easy of it. So Jeremiah, do we have any other questions come in?
We do not. I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Excellent. Well, we thank everybody for your time this evening. We've had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun on the water with Edwin shooting this so that you guys could get a look at what Ghost 360 looks like. So don't forget, all it takes is something as simple as adding a 3-in-1 nose cone to your Ghost trolling motor if you don't have it. And then it requires a Lowrance HDS Live, HDS Carbon, or Elite FS unit. So everybody, thank you for your time this evening. Good fishing, and we'll see you on the water.